So today's second question is coming from a business owner who used to be in a service role and now they have moved into a management role. Okay, so how can I adapt in this new role and ensure that my business will continue to grow? All right, so this is an interesting one, not such a tax question. So, but we can talk about that because obviously all of us are one point or the other started out in some role and then slowly we grew into some sort of management role. I certainly did. I started out as a salesperson and then slowly became a manager and that kind of moved from there. So we all kind of go through that. So I can understand the pain and the anxiety that comes with such thing, because you don't know if you are the right fit, if you're going to be able to deliver results. I remember when I was a salesperson, I was responsible for certain numbers that I had to produce, and then when I got into management position, I had to uh, consistently produce those numbers, and if I didn't, then there was a potential of demotion. So I don't know if your situation is similar, but I can feel the pain. The second part of the management position is always that you're not responsible for your personal quota, but now you're also responsible for quota of all of your employees or salespeople who perhaps work under you. So, um, first of all, what you're basically doing is you used to be what I call in an operation mode, meaning you were doing a specific job uh, as an individual. But once we become a manager, we need to become strategic. So you need to start thinking a strategy. How is your business going to grow? You need to start anticipating a lot of things. You need to start making some projections, some goals, not just for yourself, for your entire team. So that would be my first suggestion to you is take a look at, spend more time on strategic planning, business development, those kind of things rather than your day-to-day tasks that you used to do before. So that's where I would start. I'm sure by now somebody in management probably told you the importance of setting smart goals. So figure out what will work for you, because it's like, I remember when I was young and my management will give me a book, that go read the book, and I go try to implement that and did not work for me. So you need to figure out what kind of goal setting would work for you. Would it be daily goals? Would it be weekly goals, monthly goals? And what are some of the metrics that you are going to track to help you identify those goals? And then how are you going to monitor those? How are you going to track that you are actually achieving those goals? And which direction your business is going in? Like I said, when you were your in individual role, you were more focused on your personal performance. But now that you're in management role, you're responsible for your entire department or entire company or entire branch, whatever you're managing right now. So, you need to keep track of it. I will also add that it's not just important that you know those numbers or you are tracking them, but your team needs to know that as well. So maybe you set up a board. On that board, you display them. There are a lot of digital boards these days. That could be another idea. You can send them an email, but somehow they should know uh, how are they doing compared to what they were doing before. Because if your people don't know, you're going to have a hard time achieving your goals. So I would focus on those kind of things. Another skill that you would have to really develop, and I say that develop because it's not you. I can't just tell you and you can implement it. It takes a lot of practice. So, and that is a skill of delegation. And if you are not good at it, you are going to have a hard time as a manager because you would want to do everything yourself. So, especially when we are transitioning from one role to the other, especially from an individual role to management role, this is a very hard skill to learn. So before you go any further, you need to figure out how are you going to delegate, what are you going to delegate, and how are you going to inspect what you delegate. So identify the task, identify the people that you can assign those tasks to, and then most importantly, figure out how are you going to inspect that whatever you delegated got done. Maybe you do that yourself, maybe you have people under you, they do that. So this is a skill that you need to really develop and try to delegate as much as possible. The more you're able to delegate, the better manager you will become. And like I said, just don't stop at delegation. You got to inspect what you delegate as well. Without it, it will be extremely difficult. You should develop leadership skills. So leadership is leadership is interesting because we don't know about people's leadership until a difficult time comes. How people react in a difficult time determines how great of a leader they are. Anybody can lead when things are okay. So if sales are okay, your business is okay, your people are happy, nobody leaving your customers are happy, your leadership doesn't really mean much. But it will mean a lot when things are bad. So think of it, leadership skill, like a skill that you would learn in armed services. So soldiers practice every single day, sometimes day and night, for weeks, for months, for years. And then they might never actually go to the war. They might actually serve the entire time in armed forces and never go to the war. But they still train for that one day when they would have to go in the field and all those skills will be used. Leadership skills work the same way. You need to practice them every day. Your communication, your team building, your decision making, your strategic thinking. You practice them every day. You write down all the skills that you need and improve upon them, because when the bad time comes, leadership skills are going to help you propel, not just as a manager, but as a business owner, or perhaps even as an executive for a major company. So I would pay a lot of attention to that skill. A couple other things that I have seen when I was running few locations and I was in a management position is processes are so important. So pay attention to current processes in whatever role you are in, whatever company you are in, and try to see if there is any way for you to streamline those processes. Is there any way you can cut down on things that are just not needed, or maybe they are redundant? For example, maybe there are some reports that nobody even looks at, but your accounting is preparing. Maybe there are parts in your warehouse that are way too far away from where they need to be, and people are spending too much time picking them up. So pay attention to every single process in your business and see if they can be reduced or if they can be eliminated altogether. Many times, when I'm doing consulting for a client and I would ask questions, sometimes people are spending time on things that are just not even relevant, like they have nothing to do with them whatsoever, but they're still spending a lot of time on that. So pay attention to those. And lastly, I'll leave you with this. And I don't know if this is part of your responsibility or not. In many companies, when you turn from a sales role into a management role, you're still kind of like a glorified salesperson. But in my opinion, the moment you move into management, and I even recommend people in a junior roles, but definitely in a management role, you are responsible for financial health of your company as much as the CEO of your company or the some other executive in the company. And you need to start treating yourself as such, because if you are focused on finances, like let's say if I work for company X and I'm in management role, I better study the financial statements. I better study the balance sheet. I better understand the P&L, income statements. I need to be able to look at all these financial reports and understand what's happening. If you are part of a larger company, then I would probably look at your region, at your district, maybe even at your store location. I don't know how much access you have to the data, but it's so important for you to look at things financially, because when your executives come to see you and they see that you're running a great operation, you have a lot of good processes in your uh, wherever you work, and you have great leadership skills, you're very good at delegation, you're very good at strategy, and you know finances of your company, and you're able to talk that language, and you're able to speak to them um, in what matters to them the most, which is profits, you'll be able to impress them. They will love you for life. It will open up so many opportunities for you in future. So do not underestimate finance. And I say this because many times in mid management role, people are not really so much concerned about the financial health of the company, and at the executive level, people are always concerned about that. So if you're able to speak that language, I think that will help you get some at least minimum brownie points, if not perhaps even a promotion. So those are all my thought processes. Once again, my name is Deepak, and I'm a tax code advisor. I work with individuals and small business owners. I share tips, techniques, strategies that I have learned in life that can help anyone build wealth. Um, I don't like to take risk, honestly, not big risk. I mean, some calculated small risk. I like to play safe, and I strongly believe that in this great country, we have so many tools available to us that we can use those tools and build wealth. We don't have to depend on Social Security. We don't have to depend on Medicare. We don't have to take loans. If we just use the tools that are available to us, we can be just fine. I don't think any other country in the world provide so much to their citizens as this great country. I strongly believe that. I'm ready to share that information with you. Just reach out to me and let me show you how you can build wealth the right way. All right. Thank you so much.